All right, this is going rather swimmingly, as Will Knox would say. On the chorus, we have this fantastic cameo by Katie Hans.
Call out your lifeboats, honey.
All right, so Katie's right here. Clearly a little too thick for a background vocal.
Call out your lifeboats, honey.
It goes with this guy.
So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea.
And I hear her as kind of like disruptive flavor. And I want to put her in her own space and make a mess. That's the way I thought about it when I recorded it. So what is Revelation? Let's see. I like Revelations. Ooh, hi, gorgeous.
So call out your lifeboats, honey.
Maybe we can do something with this. Let's see.
Call out your lifeboats, honey. Could you be my lighthouse, honey?
Not a fan of the early reflections here, but I'm really a fan of the tail. So let's see.
Call out your lifeboats, honey. Could you be my lighthouse, honey?
How does it sound in the context?
So call out your lifeboats, honey.
Maybe a smidgen too much?
So call out your lifeboats, honey.
And even too big a smidgen? So it's a smidgish?
So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all...
All right, I don't like it. Next. Reverence. Okay.
Call out your lifeboats, honey. Could you be my lighthouse, honey?
Cool.
Call out your lifeboats, honey.
This has a really nice grain. Church.
Call out your lifeboats, honey. Call out your lifeboats, honey.
That's very fat.
Call out your lifeboats, honey.
Let's try that.
So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey, and rescue me? Can you help me find hope, honey?
That's nice. Louder.
So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey?
Even more.
So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey, and rescue me?
If you need a little more gain on a track and you already are here, you can go in the channel strip here. There's a pre-gain button. It's nice.
So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey, and rescue me?
I like that it sounds wrong. So let's keep it that way. On the second verse, right here, I feel that the organ is a little overwhelming. What do you think? So let's turn the automation track on and see what we can do.
And rescue me. I take advantage of her graces. I run away when I should face it. But she just smiles at all my faces. Now the same old storms gather round, familiar as the same old me breaking down. So call out your lifeboats, honey.
Not as nice as if you have a fader, but it's doable. Let's go back to the first verse.
Calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places.
I think the mix could use a little bit of sauce altogether. So if I go to the stereo out, which is my main fader, maybe give it a little bit of tape saturation without the automatic gain.
Me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places. Me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to me down when I am faithless. Me down when I am faithless.
Listen to the snare drum and the relationship between the vocal and the snare drum. I think this is doing what we need. Fancy that. Without.
Me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places.
Don't forget that in Cubase, this fader right here is pre-strip, pre-everything, which means that your saturation, and if you were to use a compressor, is actually indentured on the position of this fader. So if you have a compressor and you're hitting it too hard, you have the option of lowering this fader and it's going to be less loud into the compressor. This can be counterintuitive to people who use other DAWs, but it's actually kind of useful because your levels will creep up as you mix. And so you have this fader right here that you can actually tame without any adverse effect. So you can kind of gain stage your whole mix with this one fader if you're working with just one fader. We're not using any stems here because it's such pure and simple music and it's not going to end up on the dance floor. I don't need to separate the bass drum. I don't need to do anything like that. So I'm going to treat this, and I've been treating this as a whole, not as a bunch of separate parts. So I don't have any stems. Everything goes to output 1, 2. Everything is in the box. In this case, when you work that way, you have one fader to roll them all, which is nice.
Me down when I am faithless.
Still feel like it could be a little more open, the whole mix.
Me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places. I'm the burden she embraces. It's the same dark sea all around, familiar as the same old me breaking down.
So that brought out the S's. So I'm going to try and open the air above the S's.
Me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places. Me down when I am faithless. Me down when I am faithless. Me down when I am faithless.
7 dBs may be a little hooligan, but it's a nice feeling. Not to be a hooligan, but to use 7 dBs or something, it makes you feel powerful. Let's see the chorus.
So call out your lifeboats, honey.
Did you hear the saturation freaking out? Let's lower that.
So call out your lifeboats, honey. I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey, and rescue me? Can you help?
So I had set the tape saturation on the verse, which is quiet. When we hit the chorus, it freaked out. Not a good look. So I had to tame it back down. Maybe we need to do something else now. We'll see. Listening to it with a little bit of futz on the 2 mix, I feel like I'm losing a little bit of punch on the drums and their place and their kind of like mojo. So I'm going to do a little bit of parallel compression. I want to create a parallel compression path with an effects channel like this. And I'm going to use some compressor of sorts, maybe vintage compressor. Go. Then I'm going to go fish for my track. Hi, where have you been all my life? Whoosh. Go play with your mates up there. There you go. All right, so this looks and smells like an 1176. But you should know a little interesting detail. Somebody decided to fix where the 1176 problems are and to invert where fast and slow are. So on 1176, this is fast, this is slow, and here this is fast and this is slow. So if you have any kind of habit using 1176, make sure you don't use them with this guy. Let's go 22-1. I'll start in the middle. FX4, let's call it drum crush. So we have the drum crush on all three bass drums. We also need the drum crush on the snare. I don't think I need a super, super low bass drum in that crush. I don't even need the out. See what happened when I turned the out microphone off? Everything became more parallel compression-like. Doesn't really sound like an 1176, but it's fun to use. Let's see what it sounds like in the context of the rest of the song. I'm going to start with it all the way down in the socks and raise it.
She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places.
So check it out. One bar with, one bar without, starting without.
She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places.
Just the drum so you can really hear it. Let's link these two, the drum sub and the drum crush, and call it drum plus crush. EQ definitely not. Volume and pan, sure, why not? Here we go.
She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places. I'm the burden.
This is taking shape nicely. So what else am I going to do? Good question. I'm feeling that the snare is a little kind of like pedestrian.
She calms me down when I am faithless.
I like it, but it's like it just goes pluck, which is what most snare drums do. But this one, we're not going to let it do that. Mono delay. Here we go. Let's see. Less of it. That is delightfully wrong, isn't it?
She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places.
I'm going to leave it there until somebody complains. We'll see what happens. I like this kind of stuff. What else? What's going on the bridge? Piano bridge. I must listen to some context.
These waters that I've chosen.
Let me mute the vocal for now. I get it. That's the angry part of the song. All right. So let's high pass this because it's a mess. It's got a thing that I really don't enjoy. That. The chords he plays are so thick that I'm not going to try and have a good sound on its own. What I'm trying to do is create a sound that will fit with the rest. You know what I mean? It's no longer kind of like clouding everything. Don't want to listen to it in solo, but nobody's going to listen to it in solo. Nobody will ever know, right? Not going to tell on me. Now, the other thing that annoys me here is this guitar is insanely loud. We should probably do something about it. I'm going to use my legendary mouse automation trick.
Rescue me. So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse?
Okay. Let's see what the vocal does on that bridge.
In these waters that I've chosen.
I can definitely copy. Actually, why don't we copy everything? Copy first selected channel setting. Aye, aye, sir. Paste. There you go. So now we have the same sound on both.
And in these waters that I've chosen, every
Obviously, because of the entire mess there is around, and since the producer decided to separate the verse and chorus and bridge, that gives me the liberty to do what I want without telling the producer. Because there's so much hell notes and chords and stuff, the vocal feels very dry. So I'm actually gonna add some reverb and stuff.
And in these waters that I've chosen, every promise that I've broken has pulled me to the ocean floor.
Let's see the transition.
Oh, call out your lifeboats, honey, and rescue me. That I've chosen, every promise that I've broken has pulled me to the ocean floor. I don't deserve 1,000 chances that your faith in me has granted, but just one more is all I need. Ooh. So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey, and rescue me?
I like it. I like the contrast between the bridge vocal and the chorus vocal in this particular case. What else? I think this is it. Oh no, we have shakers. Crucial. What do those shakers do? They shake. This one says L, this one says R. I'm assuming it's for positioning. And then we have another one. That's an interesting, kind of weird thing to do. Let's, you guessed it. Boom. And let's give them a little bit of, you know, that. Let's see in the context.
These waters that I've chosen, every promise that I've broken, has pulled me to the ocean floor.
Let me check that my settings are the way I want them to be, EQ. And now I'm going to make them darker. Why am I doing that? Because the time is not so good. The playing is not in super tight. And so if I make it darker, I won't hear the transients as much, and I'll be able to have them louder, and they fill in that space, but they're just not grooving right.
These waters that I've chosen, every promise that I've broken, has pulled me to the ocean. I don't deserve 1,000 chances that your faith in me has granted.
That's fine and well. I really don't like the tape saturation sound anymore. It's just crunchy. So thanks for coming and no thanks. Let's see if we can find something else. I think I saw Magneto 2 here somewhere. Let's see what they have. Warmth. We need that.
These waters that I've chosen, every promise that I've broken, has pulled me to these waters that I've chosen, every promise that I've broken, has pulled me to the ocean floor. I don't deserve 1,000 chances that your faith in me has granted, but just one more.
I kind of dig what it does, right? It softens things a little bit. It's nice.
These waters that I've chosen, every promise that I've broken, has pulled me to the ocean floor. I don't deserve 1,000 chances that your faith in me has granted, but just one. These waters that I've chosen, every promise that I've broken, has pulled me to the ocean floor.
It's nice. It does that undocumentary thing that I like. Let's see on the verse.
She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places. She calms me down when I am faithless. She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better place.
Tough choice, eh? It's not as punchy. It doesn't have the same, but it's dreamier. And I think it's better for this style and better for what I'm trying to do today with this song. Tomorrow may feel different, but right now, until I hate it, 5 minutes from now, I'm going to keep it as is.
The same dark sea all around, familiar as the same old me breaking down. So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey, and rescue me? Can you help me find hope, honey? The water's deep.
So I feel like I've been a little tame on the organ. It's a really nice sound. It's a real B3 and it's pretty and it does a nice space, but I've already automated it and I like to change its level, and that can be a pain. What you can do in that case is create a VCA, which is a new feature for Cubase 8, and call it organ VCA. Basically, you can use the VCA as an offset for your already automated organ track. Isn't that nice? There are many uses to VCA, but let's use this one first. And by the way, since we are all civilized human beings, we call it what it is. There you go.
Can you help me find hope, honey? The water's deep. Oh, call out your lifeboats, honey, and rescue me.
I like it better like this. What's a VCA, might you ask? Well, originally a VCA was a voltage control amplifier on an SSL console, big, gigantic piece of steel with a lot of copper in it. You could have one fader remote control other faders because you had like 48 faders, and say you had 10 or 12 faders for drums. And if you wanted to change all the drums at once without running them through a group, it was difficult. Somebody came up with the idea of this. What if one fader could send voltage to these other 12 faders, or 28 faders, since it was the 80s, 28 faders for drums, that is. And then when you move this one fader, all other 28 moved with it. That was the VCA. So in this paradigm of everything digital, nobody sends voltage to anyone. But you can think of the VCA as a remote control for other faders. So if you saw at the beginning of this fantastic mix, I actually linked my drums in different ways. I could use VCAs here to be able to control things in different ways. For example, I could have made a VCA for the kick, and then a VCA for the overhead, a VCA for the toms, and a VCA for all the rooms. I would have had 3 or 4 VCAs here, and then I could have made a VCA for all the VCAs. And I could have grouped that all together somewhere in my console. That would have allowed me to change all the drums with the main level VCA, or change some levels within the drums with the little VCAs, all in one place. And then as you just saw, the other advantage of the VCA is that you can supersede existing automation, which is awesome. Kind of like a trim function in Pro Tools. Let's listen to the song after all this philosophical discussion on VCAs.
Calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places. I'm the burden she embraces. It's the same dark sea all around, familiar as the same old me breaking down. So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey, and rescue me? Can you help me find hope, honey? The water's deep. Oh, call out your lifeboats, honey, and rescue me. I take advantage of her graces. I run away when I should face it.
Anybody hear that? The second verse, check it out.
I take advantage of her graces.
First verse.
She calms me down when I am faithless.
See the difference in positioning of the vocal? That is because of the organ. But I don't really want to lower the organ further. So why don't we just be bold and raise the lead vocal? And since this is pretty arbitrary, I'm going to do it manually.
Oh, call out your lifeboats, honey, and rescue me. advantage of her graces. I run away when I should face it, but she just smiles at all my faces. Better places.
Let's not get overboard. Just a little 1 dB bump should create a good vibe. Coming from here.
Oh, call out your lifeboats, honey, and rescue me. I take advantage of her graces. I run away when I should face it. But she just...
Something else that bothers me is the guitar feels a little boring. So what if I open the top up a little?
She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better place.
That's too much. It makes the vocal seem dull.
She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better place.
I like that. That's in good enough taste. I have to do the same thing on the intro. Here you go. This one. I'm doing this on the 57.
She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places.
Now I have this desire of adding a little bit of this thing because I like it. This thing sounds good. Whatever it does, I don't really know, but I like what it does. It's called Maximizer. Must be good.
She calms me down when I am faithless. She calms me down when I am faithless. She calms me down when... She calms me down when I am faithless.
Obviously, we'll not level match, but in this case, I actually wanted to give a little bit of to the vocal, so might as well just do it.
Now the same old storms gather round, familiar as...
I really like the way it sounds without.
Now the same old storms gather round, familiar as the same old me breaking down. So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse?
I don't want to know what it does. I just like it.
She calms me down when I am faithless.
So the vocal could use a little more sauce. What do we have? Let's try that FX3. Oh, I'm going to copy that on the bridge. And then let's see what it sounds like.
She calms me down when I am faithless. She calms me down when I am faithless.
That could be useful.
She calms me down when I...
Cheese.
She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places.
Makes it sound thin.
She calms me down when I am faithless.
So forget about it. However, on the bridge...
And in these waters that I've chosen, every promise that I've broken. And in these waters that I've chosen, every promise that I've broken.
Great. I may have overdone the snare a smidgen. Let's see.
And in these waters that I've chosen, every promise that I've broken was pulled. She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places.
One more thing on the drums. I like it all, but let's see.
She calms me down.
I like to bring the bass drum like here, just to create this thing. And I can't really do that right now. The reason why is this. It's going into a drum crush, this one, and they're all kind of different in the way they behave. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a group for these. And we can make it mono and call it bass drum sub. I can listen to it. It's no longer going through the drum sub here. It's going to its own thing. So it's not getting the little boost we had. So we can take care of it as a separate entity and give it a little bit of a boost here. And maybe yes, and high pass it a smidgen here. Let's see with the rest of the drums. In the context of the song.
She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places.
It's nice because I get that presence. I'm losing a little bit of the oomph, whatever that means, but we can bring it back this way. Whoosh.
She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places.
Maybe I went a little heavy metal on that high end here.
She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places. I'm the burden she embraces. It's the same dark sea all around, familiar as the same old me breaking down. So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey, and rescue me? Can you help me find hope, honey? The water's deep. Oh, call out your lifeboats, honey, and rescue me.
So what you see me do right now is while I'm listening, what I'm hearing is making me feel a certain way and I'm reacting to it. I'm not going to stop transport for that. I'm just going to move and react. But since you're here, I have to tell you. So the first thing that happened is the bass drum felt too bright. It felt still a little too like, Metallica. So I just lowered the high end, lowered the bass drum. Didn't feel as vulgar. I liked it. Then I'm not saying that Metallica is vulgar. I'm just saying in this context, it's vulgar. Then that made me feel like the vocal was a little dry. So I'm like, am I going to add some reverb? So I added a little bit of reverb and I was like, yeah, I don't feel this. Literally, I couldn't feel it. And then, so I was like, but I have that delay. let's add the delay. That was my thought process in the last 30 seconds. And all that is based on reaction to the track. Listening to it as if it were the first time, which is hard to do since we've been listening to it for a while. But that's the process at this point. At this point, I could abandon this mix. You never really finish a mix. You abandon it when you have to go to lunch. And so we're way past lunchtime, but I'm happy to abandon this mix now so I can send it to the singer. The problem is, of course, the minute you decide that this is it, that's when you start tweaking because this isn't it. So this is it. Let's listen to it.
She calms me down when I am faithless. She brings my thoughts to better places. I'm the burden she embraces. It's the same dark sea all around, familiar as the same old me breaking down. So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey, and rescue me? Can you help me find hope, honey? The water's deep. Oh, call out your lifeboats, honey, and rescue me. I take advantage of her graces. I run away when I should face it. But she just smiles at all my faces. Now the same old storms gather round, familiar as the same old me breaking down.
Definitely have to do something for this poor guy right here. They're not loud enough. The chink, chink guitars. So I'm going to create a VCA and call it Skank VCA. And I'm going to assign that VCA to the existing guitar skank link. Now I think I can raise this skank guitar for the whole song and it'll respect my existing automation here.
All around, familiar as the same old me breaking down. So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be
Second for chorus.
I run away when I should face it. But she just smiles at all my faces. Now the same old storms gather round, familiar as the same old me breaking down. So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey, and rescue me? Can you help me find hope, honey? The water's deep. Oh, call out your lifeboats, honey, and rescue me. And in these waters that I've chosen, every promise that I've broken has pulled me to the ocean floor. I don't deserve the 1,000 chances that your faith in me has granted, but just one more is all I need. Ooh. So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey, and rescue me? Can you help me find hope, honey? The water's deep. Or call out your lifeboat, honey, and rescue me.
All right, I like this. For those of you who were paying attention, a couple minutes back, I lowered the master fader. As I mentioned earlier, because Cubase is floating point, you can lower the master fader to avoid overs, peaks, without anybody getting killed. If you were even more paying attention, you notice that I turned on the brick wall limiter. And the reason why I did that is because lowering the fader will prevent peaks. Fine. Turning on the brick wall limiter would let this machine kind of kiss those peaks that make the record a little too real for a Friday night, if you know what I mean. So it's nice to have a machine. I mean, it's 0.1 dB. Nobody's going to get a phone call for this one, but it's a little smoother. And if it makes me feel that it's a little smoother, then I'm happy. So at this point, I would send this mix to Mr. Knox, who's going to write back or call back with, I don't like this, that kind of stuff. And then we make another mix. But for today, I'm content. So as a reminder, we started with this.
The same dark sea all around, familiar as the same old me breaking down. So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey, and rescue me? Can you help me find home, honey, the water's deep? Or call out your lifeboats, honey, and rescue me.
All right. And now we're here using Cubase 8 and the stock plugins.
The same old storms gather round, familiar as the same old me breaking down. So call out your lifeboats, honey, I'm all at sea. Could you be my lighthouse, honey, and rescue me? Can you help me find hope, honey, the water's deep? Oh, call out your lifeboats, honey, and rescue me.
Et voilà.